Welcome to Danny Zuko on-demand service, DIY tips, and so much more, music and beats. Yeah, this morning I'm here with Marius Davis from Marius and Son Contractors Renovation. Yeah, we're gonna be installing a hot water heater, and we just want to give you some tips on how to save some money, how to do it yourself. Remember, this is also a big project, so if you want to get some help, be sure to ask your neighbor, ask someone, or seek some professional advice. But we're just going to give you some hints and some tips on how to go about it. So we went to Home Depot this morning and we got ourselves a new hot water heater. Yeah, this is the one we're going to be putting in. It's a gas performance range. This one range what, about 520. No, it was close to $600. This one 40 gallon. So we're just gonna replace this one too, the one that's in. And this one is gas. Also the one that we'll be replacing, hopefully you can see it, we're working in a tight space in a dark corner. We got some light, hopefully you can see what's going on. Also gas. So yeah, so this is the hot water heater we're gonna be replacing. Gas, pretty much the same. This one is a 30 gallon. All right, now if you look closely here, you can see where pipes are leaking. We got some stuff going on, so we need to get rid of this baby and put a new one in. Now before you start anything, this is very important. Remember to turn off the main water source. So we're gonna go and turn off the water source, turn off the gas for the hot water heater. So we've already located where the main water source for the house is.
Coming into the boiler.
Yeah, the cold water is on the other side.
It's gonna seized up here too.
Yeah, so we need to replace all these valves.
So these valves need to be replaced. It's always good to once in a while come and open and close these valves so that they don't seize up. And also the rubber seal that's inside of it doesn't dry rot. Because people think because it's water, it doesn't dry rot inside. It still dry rot. So you always gotta come and turn these on and off once in a while. So this is gonna have to get sprayed with some WD to loosen it up. Get all that filth that's in there, loosen up so we can turn that off. You don't want to force it because then it's gonna start leaking. So you get it loose first and then you turn it off.
Right. Also the gas line, you need to turn the gas off. We've located a valve right above the heater up here. You can see it right here. We got a valve. This one turned the gas off. So all right, so we're gonna shut down the system, and then also you need to remember to drain the water. You can use a regular garden hose, connect to this bit. So here we go. We're gonna get this project started. We're gonna grab some tools and get the show on the road. So we've removed the old one and we have the new one in place. All right. So we've got the new one in place. We've pulled the old one out. We've disconnected the hot water line, the cool line, also the gas line. So now we're gonna put things back together. For the gas line, you want to, since you open it, you want to reseal it. I've got this Blue Monster, which is made specifically for these kind of application. Yeah, it's like thread tape. If you know what thread tape is, all right. So we're resealing the gas line and we're gonna connect together. I'm not working with a camera stand, so it's a bit hard to do some of the stuff while holding the camera. So here we go. Let me set them up and then get back to you. All right, so we've took the old tank outside just so you can have a look what it's like. Instead of replacing copper fittings, Marius is going to be explaining to you this fitting, how it works.
So basically this is a PEX fitting, right? Instead of soldering or sweating as they call it. You just stick this into the pipe. You clean the pipe off, the tip of the pipe, and then you stick this in. You screw this down to the nipple. This is called a nipple that goes in here. Screw down to the nipple, and it gives you more flexibility and easier to work with versus trying to do copper. It takes more time.
Yeah, so if you're a homeowner, more than like you probably won't be able to do sweating in one shot. It takes a bit of practice, but I'm sure with some practice you'll get it right. So it's a bit more expensive to get this piece of material. It's like $16, but tell you what, next time you're gonna change your water tank, you'll find out that it will be much easier, because this one flex, you won't have to sweat, you won't have to do any of that extra labor. And also if you work out the value,
labor intense.
yeah, labor intense. And also if you work out the price of it, buying the material to sweat the pipe, to do all of that work, it's still you know, it's still work out than buying that. So it pretty much plays out. So we're going to take you back on the inside just so you can have an idea of what's going on, how it would look on the new tank. All right, so we did one side here. So that's the fix. We just cleaned it and pretty much just snap it in. We didn't have to do any soldering, versus if we had put one of these for fitting, we would have to do some soldering to get this to work. So we're gonna install the other side and then we show you the finished product. Here we go. So remember to clean the copper pipe before you try adding that shark bite to it. So
push this up, you should hear a click when it goes all the way in. Hear that click?
you heard the click and you saw it went up.
So that's it's sealed. It's locked in there now. Alright. You can also use Teflon onto this, but there's different types of Teflon. People think there's only one type. There's different types of Teflon for different applications. You know, so you use Teflon pertaining to heat, because a lot of heat is going to be coming out of this because of this, the hot water pipe. All right. So, but there's also a pipe sealing that you can put around here and then put the pipe on that seals any water or anything from getting out. All right, you can use this for gas or water.
Yeah, that's the same material we used on the gas line.
All right.
We're just gonna put a bit on it.
Whatever you prefer. Just get it around there, get it into the grooves, to the treading.
And if you look close into this,
make sure you don't get any into the pipe, inside the pipe. You clean up what's in there.
there's also a rubber gasket in here that allows that prevent any give it a proper seal.
Anything leaking out.
Prevent any water from escaping.
Extra measures.
Yeah.
You know? It's better to be safe than sorry, especially when you're dealing with water and gas.
Yeah.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
And not only that, you don't want to do this twice.
Exactly. Exactly. So get it on properly. You hand tighten it first. Make sure the tread is all lined up. You don't want to cross tread, because then that's going to be a whole another Pandora's box you're going to be open. You'll have to change this whole nipple, and then you won't get a proper seal between the treads if it's cross tread. So you got to make sure get this in properly first with your hands, and then do it with the wrench. So let me see if I can get this in straight. Get this in there. See, it goes in easy. Once you know it's tightening easy with your hands, then you use the wrench to tighten it up, to finish tightening it up. And you don't have to go too tight. You don't want to mess the rubber seal that's up in there. You want to squeeze it up too tight. Just snug enough where the water don't come through. Okay. You just do a couple of turns until you feel like it's kind of snugged up real nice, not too tight. As I say, you don't want to mess up the rubber seal that's in the fitting. Okay. All right. I'll do one more quarter turn, and that would be it. more quarter turn. And that's it.
That's it. So we got the coal line connected, we got the hot line, and we did the gas line. Alright. Now before you do anything else, you want to make sure you fill the tank with some water. You always want to turn the water on back to the tank to make sure that there's no here, because if you go and you turn this heater on without water, you're going to burn it out. Alright. So we're going to go back to the main source. And we're going to turn the water supply to the house back on. Alright, so we got the water on.
This vent just sticks to it. Alright. And you open the valve, let the tank fill up.
We're going to turn the
cold water valve on. Let the tank fill up.
So you can hear the tank filling. You let it run. They recommend letting it run for about 3 minutes before. They recommend you letting it run for at least 3 minutes. You don't want to leave that air in the system while you have the hot water in. Yeah, you'll hear some crazy sound and possibly some explosion too. You could break a pipe. You'll find the weakest link, because that's going to be steam instead of hot water. So you need to let that hot water run for a bit. Here comes the water. So this is the water passing through the hot water tank. So you got to get that here out. They recommend letting it run for 3 minutes.
There's all the bubbles in it.
Keep bubbling.
Still air in the system.
Yeah, so we're not going to keep you on video for 3 minutes. We're going to let it run and then we get back to it.
Alright, so turning back on the gas, right? The gas line to the water heater. And you turn the valve. So the valve up and down, the gas is locked off. That means there's no gas flowing through to the thermostat. So you turn this valve back straight, parallel with the back iron, so you know the valve is open, so everything is flowing through now. Now the second most important thing after turning that on is you always check soap water. Soap water. You just pour a little bit on the valve itself. You see no bubbles. Make sure the valve is good. Once it's not bubbling up, which means no gas is getting through the valve. And also the fittings that you took off and you replaced, you put back, you pour soap there also. Make sure you don't see any bubbles coming through. Once there's no bubbles, you should be good. And just to check. Just to check to see if any gas is coming through what you replaced or what you put back. Gas is very dangerous, especially if you're sleeping. You'll never wake up. So you always got to check to make sure there's no leak, there's no gas coming through the fittings that you just replaced or installed.
When we say never wake up, I mean various ways, from the gas and from the fire. So you don't want to be playing with the gas, all right?
Exactly. Gas
also, how about this fitting right here, Marius? I think we had hope in that one as well.
Make sure double check all the fittings. You see that bubbling up? There's no bubbles bubbling up. It should be good. Yep, there's no bubbles.
No bubbles.
Soap water.
Soap water.
Soap water. All right. There's no bubbles anywhere, so we're good. We're good. There's nothing that's bubbling up, so we're good with the gas. All right. Turn it on back to thermostat. All right. So you hold this knob for.
Let me get some light.
You hold the dial down into pilot position. Make sure it's facing the pilot position, and you press the ignite button to light it up.
Okay, you see that blue light?
That blue light will start blinking.
Okay.
Once it's blinking blue, you look on the thermostat itself and it says normal operation. So everything is running fine.
Okay, normal operation.
All right, so now to set the heat temperature of how hot you want your hot water, you refer to the manual, right? Because it has letters instead of like the numbers. So most likely, like most people set it to B, right? And the pilot kick on at the bottom to heat the water up. I can hear it, but I don't think you can hear it on the video. But it kicks on, it's heating up the water. So most people set it to B. I think that's about 140 Fahrenheit for the temperature, which is fine. Some people go to 120. I don't know if they have 120 on this dial, but C is the lowest. But most people keep it to B. All right.
All right, so you check the system, make sure there's no leak. We have no leak, right?
So let's double check the manual to make sure. You always make sure. You always want to double check and make sure. So it says page 18, 19. Okay, so you go to B. Let's get it right. You go to B. Okay. Represents an approximate water temperature of 140 Fahrenheit, 60 Celsius. Okay. So that's fine. Anything beyond that is going to be too hot. You don't want to put anything beyond that. Hot on B, you can also set it to just hot. So you can just put it on hot. If you find if it's on B and it's too hot coming through the shower or coming through the faucets in your bathroom or the kitchen, you can also set it just on hot. That would put you around 125 Fahrenheit, which is not too crazy. You're not going to get burnt. Skin is not going to get burned off when you put your hand in the water.
Okay. Also, we're going to connect the drain, the overflow valve pipe.
Pressure release.
Pressure release.
Yeah, the pressure relief valve. This is the pressure relief valve. And normally this goes in here, pointing to the ground. I always recommend putting like a bucket below this so you don't flood your basement out. You know, you don't damage certain things that's in your basement. I always recommend just put in a bucket. Regular bucket from Home Depot or Lowe's. So just screw this in here. Let's get this in. Let's get this in here.
So there you have it. Danny Zuko, Handyman DIY with Marius and Son Renovation, giving you some tips on how to install a hot water heater. So check out the other videos we're going to be having coming your way. So one love, peace, and see you. Remember to subscribe for more tips and more info. Yeah.
Give me one more look at the installation.
All right, so let's check it out. All right, so we're just going to wipe this baby down from any little moisture, any little dirt, and there you go. No drips, no leak. All right, simple way, easy way. One love, peace, see ya. Now don't be surprised if you go to the faucet and turn it on and there's no hot water, right? Remember, this is 40-gallon tank, or I don't know whatever size tank you may have purchased, but it's gonna take some time to heat all that water up. It could take you probably 2 hours or so, depending on how hot you got it set. So wait a little bit once you got the system running, and then you should be good. All right, one love.